It's still a very big track, isn't it? Even though we've got these sort of dips and humps and everything.
Yeah, like the dips and the humps are going to come into it quite a bit, I think, because I rode it Wednesday, done 3 laps around here. And the sort of speed you get up to coming off the corners, then you go down the dips and then you come into the corner downhill as well. It's totally sort of different ball game to what you normally do. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
And I think really I've got to say the same to you that I've just mentioned to Kelvin Tatum a few moments ago. It's not what you call an easy lineup, is it? It's a great collection of riders.
That's it, and it's sort of, normally you get the ones that stand out most from anyone with sort of horsepower wise, but I think around this track it's not going to be a case of that. Although it's going to help, you're going to have to sort of use your head a little bit as well, so it's going to be down to thinking. Well,
that's going to be interesting for the public to watch, because a little bit of thinking, really somebody who wins today is going to be a real top rider, aren't they? Yeah, let's hope so. As long as everyone sort of enjoys it and it's pretty safe, then we'll say I've had a good day. Well, looking forward to a great day's racing. I know you're anxious to get out for practice. Hope we speak to you a bit later on. Cheers. Well, putting really an international flavour to this meeting, we're very pleased that the lineup they've got here this afternoon is truly international, with our now crowned European Grasstrack champion. The first question I've got to ask you, Serg, is really, what do you think of this track that everybody has said is a little bit different?
Okay, jetzt sagst du auf Deutsch, dann übersetze ich.
Die Bahn ist, ich hoffe natürlich durch die schwierigen Umstände hier, weil ich sag mal, es ist keine normale Rennbahn, dass wir hier trotzdem ein sehr gutes Rennen heute machen werden.
Yeah, it looks not as a normal grass track, but he hopes that he can do a good show for the spectators and show that he is a true European champion.
Well, that's fantastic to hear, because we know that we've got a lot of the top British riders that are travelling over to Germany, competing with you regularly. But I think what we're mostly looking at is the aspects of the track, being all the hills and the dips. Do you think that that's going to be an advantage for Serg or a disadvantage?
Was hat er gemeint, ein Vorteil oder Nachteil? Das baut auf, baut ab, baut.
Ach, das ist für jeden das Gleiche, man muss überall fahren können.
Yeah, he thinks that the track is for every rider the same, and normally you can ride on every track. And okay, it's you have 4 top guys from England here, and yeah, we will see.
Well, indeed we will see. It promises to be a fantastic event this afternoon. It really is truly great to see you here, and I wish you the very best of luck.
Thanks.
Well, I know you're very, very busy, Graham, but obviously the months ahead are now all behind us. The preparation that you could have done beforehand, now it's just on the day. How do you feel at the moment?
Tired. We've been down here all week, obviously, but as the event gets nearer, there's lots of little bits and pieces you have to do. We want to get it about right for the public, because I know we've got an awful lot of people that have come back from the 60s, and we don't want to disappoint them, so it's been pretty hard work.
Well, I think with the entry you've got together here for this weekend, I mean, I don't think disappointment is something that really is going to be on the agenda, because everybody in the pits at the moment is talking about, yes, it looks different. And I think you probably are the one that knew so much about that, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I kept speaking to Paul, my son, and I said, oh, you know, you really ought to ride at Rhodes Minnis. And I think he got a bit fed up with me keep going on about it. But in all honesty, there's one chap that I've got to thank, and that's a man by the name of Chris Rampton, who has made it all possible, because he now owns the land, and yeah, without that, you know, we just wouldn't have been able to have run. No, so it's all thanks to him, really. Well,
indeed, and obviously as the day goes on, obviously people will begin to see what it was all about and why really you were so determined to get it going, because yes, we can all look at the track at the moment, but I think you're probably one of those that knows it's going to take a thinking rider that actually does the winning today.
Well, you know, when I was a young lad, Reg Luckhurst, Don Godden, Monty Banks, Al Fagan, they were all, you know, they were all my idols, really. And some of them are coming back, and anyway, I think it's just about to start practice, so let's see what it's like.
Absolutely, we'll leave it to you. Well done, Graham.
Thanks.
Well, having now spoken to all the international solo riders, it's turn to speak to the 1000cc sidecars, and really I had to have a word with you, John, because I know you're now crowned British champion, and obviously very pleased about that, but I'm hearing that you've had a busy weekend all in all.
Yes, we've just returned from Kloppenburg. We were there Saturday night racing, and loaded up, packed up, and we arrived here at 8 o'clock this morning, so we're a little bit tired.
A little bit tired, but now having seen that circuit, it's something a little bit different, isn't it?
It looks very good, yes. Well, I think the Solo boys, talking to them, I mean, they're going to enjoy it, so hopefully we'll enjoy it, but it's certainly different.
Well, it's certainly different. I know that everybody really anxiously is waiting for practice to go ahead, but Jason, if I can bring you in, one thing we've said to the Solo riders is that it's not going to be particularly the fastest, most powerful motor. There's going to be a lot of thinking out there today, isn't it?
Definitely, and I think especially on the back there's going to be times that you can try and make the bike work, but then you can overwork it and get yourself into trouble, I think. So you're going to have to think all day around there, I think.
So a very interesting day ahead, and really to really cap it off with the sidecars is really very, very difficult to predict a winner, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well, you ask us this question every time, Jim, but yeah, I don't think you can now, but it's the sort of same 6 or 7 guys, 8 guys, but at the end of the day, you've just got to be on the ball all day long, and the best man wins, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So let's hope we're talking to you a bit later on today. Very best of luck, guys.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Well, of course, so many competitors that I could speak to today, and really the emphasis has been all through these interviews this morning. The track is so different. Ivor Matthews, you've been out and had a look. What do you make of it?
Looks good. Looks good. I mean, obviously the proof will be in the pudding. It's a bit different to anything I've ever ridden before. I have seen the mountain Grasstrack a few years ago in Cornwall when my dad was riding, but that'd be interesting. I saw them in from the boys, certainly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the theme really that I've been talking to most people about is that it's not necessarily the big, fast engine that's going to do it today. There's going to be a lot of thinking all the way around the circuit, isn't there?
Yeah, let's say it'll be a thinking man's track, probably different lines probably as well, and probably very easy to make mistakes. So, we'll see.
Well, and the other thing I think I've got to touch on is that we've had a lot of success just recently on the Speedway, and we've learned so many lessons from the Australians about the Speedway, about refining the outfit, about getting things sorted. I mean, we're now going to throw you back into the lion's den a little bit with a track that is so different. But really, you know, have you really got any of that experience that is going to pass on and help you today?
Well, I certainly think this would teach the Aussies a thing or two. But yeah, I think so. I think anything you learn, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fast oval. All you've got is the dips and rises in it. So the setup will still be critical. And anything we've learned we'll be able to carry through today, yeah.
That's excellent. And Nick, I'll bring you in for a moment because we're seeing more and more of you back on the grass track now. And obviously to come to a circuit like this looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It is. It's very exciting here. I quite like the look of it. It's a lot different. It's going to have to work hard to get a result from it. And I think those that work hard and do the right things are going to come out on top here.
Well, absolutely. And as I've said to John Halsey and Jason Glennie a moment ago, very difficult to predict a winner at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you think about what you're doing out there, and you could do quite well out there, and it's exciting. It could look good.
Well, wish you a great day. Hopefully, be talking to you a bit later on.
Hopefully, yeah.
Cheers, guys. And if I can just bring you in on this circuit alone, this one I think is what everybody's been saying this morning is going to be one that we've all got to think about.
Yeah, definitely. I've just been and had a look now, and it's up and down, and it's like a roller coaster ride, so it should be very interesting.
But I mean, taking the roller coaster aspect of it, it's still an enormous track, isn't it?
It is big, yeah. I mean, with the dips and bumps in there, it doesn't really show how big the track is. But I've just watched the solos go around now, and yeah, they seem to go out of sight, and they just seem to be on the corners for ages because they're so big. So it should be interesting. It is a big track though, so it should be good.
Yeah, and I think really the reason I've sort of emphasised that point is that you've got a bit of a reputation now as being really the crew on the bigger circuits. You know, obviously, perhaps that's the way you've set the bike up and the way you've been working on the machinery, but not necessarily big in the sense that it's flat and hard going. It's going to be a very different track, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It depends how the surface stands up to being ridden on. You know, whether it's going to dig out or whether it's going to go hard and polished. That's two variables that we don't know yet because it's not been ridden on for so long. If it goes grippy, then it might suit us, but I don't know. We'll know after practice and after the first few heats, and then we'll see.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Even more interesting things coming in. And Carl, if I can bring you in for a second, because you know I've been continually saying this morning that I can't predict a winner today. It's so difficult with everybody competing so hard now. But one thing I'm slightly pleased about is I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis on passengers' work today.
Yeah, it's going to be hard work. I thought the Masters was going to be hard, but this is going to be hard work. It looks a bit of a two-step corner for the passenger, up and down, and yeah, it's going to be pretty hard, I reckon, out there.
Well, indeed, and obviously, as so many people are talking about the history of this circuit, we know things have changed over the last 15, 20 years, and it's going to be so quick. But obviously looks forward to being a fantastic day.
Oh, we do. We're looking forward to it. So we can't itching to get out there now. So.
Well, we'll let you get on because as everybody's saying they want to get out and practice and see what it's like.
That's right.
Best of luck, guys.
Okay, thank you very much. Top.
Well, now the theme this morning when I'm talking to everybody has all been about the track is very, very different. But Rob, I mean, I know you're a very experienced rider and you've seen tracks like this before. Could be favourable for you, could it?
I've looked forward to coming here for a long time, and people have said about this track, and we do have possibly different tracks, some people might call them, up in Yorkshire, and hills I kind of am used to, and we don't really worry. It's a track, it's to be ridden, and it'll just be good fun. Yeah, well, it certainly looks like being good fun, but a very competitive field, isn't it? I think so. We do tend to think up north, where we call ourselves a bit harder maybe, that these southerners just like going around in big circles, so bumps and hills they don't like, so we'll see what happens. Well, indeed we will, and I know that really one thing I've been saying to people is that the most amount of horsepower, the biggest, fastest bike, that isn't necessarily going to be the winner today, is it? No, definitely not. I think it's quite difficult because you can't see one of the dips until you actually get on the brow of the hill. So track craft, you might call it. But it'll be good. Yeah, excellent. Well, great to speak to you, and I hope that we'll be speaking to you later on today, because one thing we're looking forward to is this being that little bit different. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Great stuff. Thanks very much, Rob. Okay, thank you. Guess is that's Tony Black that's out there in those black leathers, a very distinguished yellow helmet, and possibly Red Sidecars out there with it. My lap scorers are confirming that it's definitely Reg that's on those red leathers, but oh, right, he's on a 79. He looks very, very quick indeed. And nice to see these guys back in action, but I think you'll already appreciate that Tony... Oh, I've just been told that's Cyril Jones out there. I should have recognised the Welsh emblem, shouldn't I? Oh well, here we go. In fact, yeah, I can recognise those yellow boots now as well, so a very quick time, I'm sure. While all the discussions have gone on about returning to Rhodes Minnis, we thought, well, perhaps we could get some of these guys back here to show what sort of speed they were doing in those days and see just how it compares to the sort of speed that we're seeing our top riders go. Another one of our distinguished vintage riders, or should I say those that rode in the 60s, etc., out there having a trip down memory lane, I think, is the way to describe it. Looks as if he's borrowed Cyril Jones's bike, but quite who it is, I'm not sure at the moment. I'm sure somebody will let me know. And as I mentioned a moment ago, I've been told that we will be seeing one or two of the riders from the past out here on the circuit once we finish practice. And we've got the radio mic set up, so hopefully I'll be able to have a chance to have a few words. And I knew that somebody would tell me who that was. Of course, that is John Britcher. How they expect me to remember all these leathers and things, I really don't know, but...
In Jim, I've discovered many things that I just didn't realise. It's only when you look back and really look at it that you find out exactly what happened.
Well, now, you know that I'm relying on you a lot, because I can see that not only we've been joined by a load of guys on the golf buggy, we've also got a lot more walking their way up here as well. So this is going to be one heck of a test for you.
I'll do my best, Jim.
Well, I'm sure you will, but I know one guy you've already mentioned to me, and I will grab you first, Mick, because the name Webster obviously is synonymous with sidecar racing, particularly from your son's epics with the road racing. But you, of course, have got a history with this circuit, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's really strange coming back after 30 years and seeing it all again. It's amazing. Yeah, it makes you really think.
Well, you say amazing, but of course, one of the things that I've been talking to the nationals about this morning when we go around the pits is that this really is characteristically different from what they're used to on the speedway and the long track and everything else. But of course, was it really that different in your day?
Well, I think it was really, because from one thing, I'm really sad to see the left-hand corners in the tracks, the kidney-shaped tracks, they've all gone now, haven't they? The left-handers were really interesting to see the bikes go around.
for a second, because I understand that you rode passenger for, in fact, Nigel Mead to start with, and then changed over to this guy.
That's correct, yes. There were two contrasting styles, really. I think Nigel was always a bit hairy, and Mick was a bit more stable. I think my wife was quite pleased when I actually went to road with Mick, because he was a bit more stable.
Well, that's a bit odd. I just want to give that one to you as a compliment. A bit more stable. But coming back here, as Mick just said, you know, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of history behind it, but it still looks a fantastic race there.
Yes, I think Rhodes Minnis is our favourite circuit. Like I said, we are sorry to see the left-handers have been taken out now, but it's just the way the grass track is going now. The outfits that they make now just have playing left-handed.
Well, indeed, I know, particularly in this part of the country, of course, there's so much history to those left-handed sidecars. And I do still see them occasionally at a few meetings, and have to struggle with some of the names sometimes, I must admit. But, you know, I can't really imagine the left-handers going around a track like this.
Well, actually, when I say left-handers, what I mean is it's like a kidney-shaped circuit. So it made the passenger, instead of just over the right-hand side of the bike all the time, the passenger had a bit of work to do, which was a bit more interesting.
Well, indeed, I know that one of the things they've been taking the mickey out of me is they've said through this racing season, all the time I've been advertising Rhodes Minnis, they said, well, we know you rode, Jim, you rode in the 70s, but I've realised now I wasn't actually old enough to ride when Rhodes Minnis finished. So I do remember that when I was about 16, 17, yes, we had that, what I called the left-hander in the back straight. And I got a bit as a passenger, I used to find it thoroughly enjoyable, so I think I'll back your campaign to get it back again.
Thank you very much.
Well, great to see you guys here this afternoon. Who else we got there, Mick? Ron Young. Ron Young? Ron, now look, I'm looking at my notes here, Ron, and it says, the most successful left-hand sidecar driver in the South-East. Well, obviously, I don't want to say that we're going to go back too many years, but obviously your most success really was through the 60s and the 70s. And I think that little conversation we just had there with John, you know, touching on the fact that the left-handers, we don't see so much of them now, but it was very competitive in those days, wasn't it?
Yes, I mean, I started in 1965. Taking 3 people on that day. One of the real bad starts I've ever had in your life. Dave Norris, Dave
Well, indeed, a nice time. And I think one of the other things that I've noticed is, particularly with the history of this track, it was nice to see some of the up-country riders, shall we say, coming down and giving you a tussle.
In the beginning.
Well done indeed. Let's hope you enjoy the rest of the day, because obviously it was a fantastic race.
It would be nice to do some practice, but it looks a bit quick to me.
Yeah, but it was quick when you were riding though, wasn't it? I mean, I think essentially they've kept the circuit the same. Apart from the sidecars have said that we haven't got the kidney-shaped left-hander in the back there, but for the solos, very, very quick even in those days.
Yes, what they've laid on today is quite unbelievable. I think Graham Harrier and all his crew, you know, we've really got to give them a big thanks. It's marvellous to turn the clock back 20 years like they've done. Absolutely wonderful.
Well, I couldn't have put it better myself. I do agree with you. It's fantastic to see him, and there's just so much work gone into putting this on. But what do you make of those internationals that you've seen practicing this morning?
They're flying, aren't they? Absolutely flying.
Well, they certainly are. I think we're going to be some fantastic racing. Enjoy your day, Tony. Thanks very much for joining us. That I think I will recognise now, but Dennis Goodacre, first of all. I just said to Tony there a minute ago, great to see this sort of occasion back on again, isn't it?
It's great, it's brilliant, and all thanks to Graham for inviting us down. Like, you know, it's that many years since we come to anything down here, and it is a pure grass track now, not some of these Mickey Mouse ovals. So.
Now you're getting controversial, Dennis. I've got to stop you there because the sport obviously moves on, and they've got very, very quick now, haven't they?
Yeah, you've got to say yes, you've got to say that. They are quick, but you know, they've got the machinery. to be quick.
Well, they certainly have, and obviously a lot of engineering work goes in, but I think, you know, as I've said to most of you really, I think the spectacle of coming back to somewhere where we've got so many memories of, it is going to be fascinating, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant, just brilliant. There's no other words for it but being brilliant.
Well, have a great day, and I know you're going to enjoy the racing, because I've got to call on as many guys as I can here, because Don, you and I have spoken so many times. I know you're at as many grass tracks as I am, but must be twinging with a few memories at the moment.
I came here last Monday to have a look at the track with Graham, and I have to say it made my spine tingle to look at this place after being here so many times over the years. And I mean, this was the place. It still is the place, and I'm sure that the racing today will be fantastic. It's great to see all our mates here as well.
Well, indeed it is, and one of those I'll have a quick word with as well, because Elf, fantastic to see. I know you've done so much development work, of course your son riding in the sport as well, but you must be feeling much the same as Don really. You've had some great times down here and it's great to be back.
Yeah, it's certainly great to be back. I don't remember the track being quite the shape it is at the moment, and I don't remember it being so beautiful at the back there, but of course when you was riding, all you was interested in was doing the job you come to do, you know. Now I can relax and look around and talk to my old mates, and especially Reggie. We're giving Reg a bit of advice. I was saying to Reg that he sounded a little bit under geared, and I said he should go in with quite a lot more throttle on, but I think he's got enough sense not to take any notice.
Well, some sound advice, and indeed I'll move over and have a quick word with these guys. Well, Reg, I can quickly introduce Reg Luckhurst to everybody, because you've heard the advice from Alf a moment ago. Look, he said all you've got to do is keep the throttle on a bit more.
That's what he used to tell me years ago, many years ago. We had some real good tussles, old Alf and myself, over the years on all the tracks. But this track here especially was the best track, without a shadow of a doubt. The spectators used to love it, and all the riders used to love it.
Well, I'm hoping, of course, that really what we see with the return to Rhodes Minnis, that people are going to experience that for themselves this afternoon. But I know you've been out there yourself. Happy memories, obviously, but looking at some of those internationals we've got in the pits, because they've got a fantastic lineup. I mean, they are absolutely flying, aren't they?
Oh yeah, you've got a good bunch of riders. I must say they are quicker than what we used to go. They got better machinery, got better leathers, but they don't use leathers. This is the original old leathers. These are. They're using a compound now, which is so light. And it breathes. We get so hot inside of these compared with the new ones. But the new riders, they look good. They're all going as good as what I could ever go.
Well, indeed. But of course, I do know that there is so much history, and I'm sure you've got so many fans still here this afternoon that remember those good times, remember all the good races you had. But we all know the sport has moved on, and that machinery's got that much more refined and everything else. But Reg, that must have been enjoyable to go round there this morning.
It was, yes. I really enjoyed it. I hope to have another go later on.
Well, indeed, we hope so as well. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
A humble pilot, because I do apologise, Cyril Jones, I didn't recognise you when you were out there this morning. I've seen you race so many times, and I think, well, I should have recognised the boots, if not the dragon on the front of you. But Cyril, what I've really been saying to most of these riders is that, you know, we know the track and the racing was brilliant all those years ago, but being out there yourself this morning must have felt great.
Oh, it did. I've been looking forward to coming here and having the opportunity to just go around. It's a track that stands out in my mind. It's one of the best tracks I've ever ridden on.
Well, that's fantastic to hear, because I know really all the people I've spoken to about the fact that we were coming back to Rhodes Minnis, they've all said, you know, it's great, Jim, you know, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to see it. And I think really from practice this morning, I've seen that the racing is going to be very close and competitive. But, I mean, are you hoping to get back out again this afternoon and have another go?
I certainly am.
Well, that I'm sure we're going to see. But, Cyril, great to see you. Thanks very much. That's been presented to me that I'm sure a lot of you will recognise the name of. And now that I can see him without his crash helmet, I certainly recognise him as well. John Britcher, you had such a great career and, of course, some many good meetings down here.
Yeah, I think Rhodes Minnis was one of the best tracks going in the 70s, you know, and yeah, some good races here.
But of course, you were asked to go back out again today. I'm hearing that you've had to go and rescue a bike from somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah, actually, Cyril Jones lent me his to have a little ride round, but got the other one working again now.
Well, hopefully we're going to see you a bit later on. But I mean, in essence, the track, has it changed that much?
No, it's lovely. It seems smoother now than it was years ago. Graham's made a real good job of doing it, yeah.
Well, he has indeed. It's great to see you guys back here again, and I can see they're lining me up to have a word with Monty, which I wasn't looking forward to, but I'll give it a go. John, have a great day. Enjoy it. I know you guys have enjoyed getting back together. Well, a photograph is good enough for me, for Monty. I don't really want to speak to him, but come on, let's go to him, because he's sitting on the bike. Monty, I think the easiest thing for me to say is that I'll give you the last word, because you obviously are very good at reminiscing about places like this.
Well, yes, it's a marvellous track. It brings back so many memories to me. Really, it's lucky I'm being sponsored by Grecian 2000, Old Age Concern, and Viagra. No, it's great, and I think the track's beautiful. I think the boys have worked so hard, and I think it's marvellous to see such a super. It reminds, you know, they can't grumble at this at all.
Well, I think I'm really taking a chance now and cutting you off in mid-speech, but I'm going to say, Monty, that do you remember racing against a lot of these guys?
When they was little. I mean, I started racing in 1947 for Folkestone Club and Astra Club and all them, and I'm now 51. No, I meant no. Wait a minute. I can't count very well. No, I'm 81 now, so I reckon that this grass tracking does you good.
Well, does you good indeed, and I know we've got a lot of fit boys in the pits there today for what promises to be a fantastic race meeting. And I know, obviously, you'll appreciate meeting some of these old guys as well. Fantastic to see them all here. But I'll leave you with the final word, because it is a fantastic circuit, isn't it?
Certainly is a fine circuit. All these boys loved it, you know. Everybody loved it. I mean, brought them all from all over the country. We had the team championships and everything here years ago, and the Astra Club have done now a really good job to get it back, and worked hard, I think, you know. Good on them. I hope everything goes well and nobody gets hurt, you know, and that's it, really, and that.
Excellent. Monty Banks, and indeed the very charismatic character that if you want to have a chat with any of these guys, we're going to say to them now that there is a hospitality tent up there, that if you want to go and have a chat with these guys, as you probably noticed, one or two of them can chat to you about a few things. They have got a lot of memories to share with you, so please take the trouble to have a wander up there where the beer tent is, that tent to the left hand side. That's where you'll find all these characters. But other than that, don't miss the racing, because there is going to be some fantastic racing this afternoon. I hope you're going to enjoy it as much as everybody else. Well, the Graham's now coercing everybody to make sure they come and have a few words with me, but Arnie Hendrickson, certainly a name I remember after putting on those wonderful circuits down at Winchester, but do you remember riding here?
Yeah, well, it's 40 years ago now since I rode here, and I've been here about 5 minutes, but the memories are still flooding back now. The one thing I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, this track will sort the men out from the boys.
Sort the men from the boys. That was the quote from Arnie Hendrickson before we start the race meeting. I tried to say earlier on politely that it's the thinking man's track, Arnie, but I suppose sorting the men from the boys will just about cover it.
Just about, yeah. I might have a little go round on this hinge, but slowly this time, because I'm 71 and I'm having difficulty finding a passenger, but it'll be a little surprise anyway. You'll see it in the interval. Okay?
That'll be excellent. Well done indeed, Arnie. Fantastic to see you here. Well, of course, most of this has been based on people having very good memories, and I've just been introduced to Bill Hayes. Bill, I understand you used to get very involved with this track.
Yeah, I used to do the starting with Sugar Poulton, and sometimes the commentary both here and at Sarah. Over at Ashford. Grass track racing was my life every Sunday for many, many years, and an awful lot of pleasure from it. And it's driving in today, it was really down memory lane. 36 years since I've been here, and as you can see, I'm not wearing no crutches, I'm still walking.
Well, I agree with you, Bill. It is incredible, and I think having chatted to a lot of the guys here now, there is a lot of memories flooding back, and I would encourage the public out there to come up and have a chat with you guys up in the marquee there, because there is so much history. But what you've seen from practice, well, we know the machinery's changed, we know the riders have changed, but one thing hasn't changed. Rhodes Minnis is still a circuit that's got to be ridden, isn't it?
It's still the best track. I went to all of them, all over the country, and Rhodes Minnis is without doubt the best track in the country. without doubt. And if you talk to the riders, solos and sidecars, they always look forward to coming to Rhodes Minnis. The late Darky Blackford was the man who was responsible for bringing the stars, if you like, down from the north. Mick Webster, Johnny Justice, Dave Nourish. The list is endless. And we all used to have a very good time. And we're all sober. For a change.
Well, indeed. We won't pursue that one, Bill, but obviously we're looking forward to a great day's racing. Thanks ever so much for bringing a few memories back to us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm going to take the easy way out now and introduce yourself.
I'm Stan Luck, I think.
At least that's what it says on the passport, is that right? Well, Stan, it is a name I recognise, remember from those years ago, but great to come back here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been super. I mean, just looking at it here, to me this is a proper grass track and it's brilliant. And it's nice to see everybody here and enjoying themselves.
Well, I think it's very noticeable. You're not frightened to say what you're thinking, are you guys? I mean, proper grass track. He said earlier on, Arnie over there a minute ago, he said he's going to sort the men from the boys. He said, you know, come on, you can introduce the next guy to me for me.
That is Pete Randall.
Well, Peter, a quick word from you then, because Peter... as they're all disappearing on me now. Great to be back here, Peter.
Yeah, it's wonderful, yeah. I had some good times down here. This reminds me of the old Stokenchurch track in a way, you know, similar sort of shape sort of thing. But this is brilliant now. They've really got rid of all the bumps and made it easy.
Well, made it easy. I don't think that's the truth, really. I mean, they're still going to have to work hard to do the winning today, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a good riders track, this. They're going really well. Should be a good day.
Well, fantastic to see you all here. And you can introduce the next guy to you for me.
That's Dave Palmer.
Dave, a quick word from you, Dave. Great to be back here.
Yes, it is very nice. This track has a little bit of a bad memory for me because in 1967 I would have won the National 250 Championship, but my bike started missing on that final corner and I missed out, but I'd still had enough points to finish third. But apart from that, this track is like a scramble, and I used to do scrambling before grass track, so it suited me down to the ground, and I'm just glad to see all these fellas back and seeing faces that we've never seen for a long while.
Well, indeed it is. You see, they're digging out all the old words now. Scrambles, I think, is now called motocross, isn't it?
That's right, yes. That's right.
Right, one more guy I'd have a quick word with, and this is...
Yeah, from the Western Centre. I haven't ridden it down at Astor Club before, not at this track. First time I've been here, but I've ridden... I know so many of these riders. We've ridden at different tracks all over the country, different times, you know, and it's great to meet them all again and to see such a first-class meeting.
Well, I think I'll agree with you there because one thing that, you know, I've been trying to say is really the theme of today. Yes, it's getting everybody back together. That's fantastic. But coming to a circuit like this that we know has got so much history, we've got a lot of talent in the sport now, though, haven't we?
Oh, it's brilliant, and the machinery is also perfect, and suspension and engines and all. It's first class. And they got a lot of equal riders today to get some good racing. Yeah.
So, no chance for me getting any predictions out of you then who's going to do the winning today? So no chance at all of me getting a prediction out of any of you?
No, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. It's anybody's, isn't it? It's anybody, yes. The only thing is we ought to have been having some oldies races, perhaps pre-75s. I'd like to see some of those going too, but maybe at another meeting perhaps they'll have that.
Well, there's certainly one that we can put into the mixing pot and get Mr. Harry to consider, because yes, a pre-75 down here might actually get all of you back together again. So, now look, now there's a face I do recognise. Mr. Garrard, nice to see you, sir.
I'd just like to say it's a fantastic track, and I'm just sorry that I wasn't old enough to get a ride in.
Yeah, you're in the same bracket as me, but I know that there's a lot of you will perhaps remember you winning the very first Ace of Aces, which really was sort of elevated on from this, wasn't it?
That's true, yeah. And they were great meetings, great circuits, the Ace of Aces circuits. They were proper grass tracks as well. And they stopped running this track the year I started riding, so just unfortunate.
Absolutely. Well, nice to see you here, and great. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there's an awful lot of people here that will be up in that marquee. If you want a quick word with them yourselves. See that? I'm giving all the information now. Eric Burridge, he tells me, now you've got to confirm this or deny it, you were one of the very first riders to ride this track.
Yeah, before you were born, I suppose. You know, it's great to be here, back here, but of course the track wasn't exactly as it used to be over the back there, and there used to be a
some stuff that we used to go right down tight on that side, and I used to love doing that because in the handicap you could go down there with one arm on the bushes and get by, you know. So it's quite interesting. And I was just saying earlier, I've got a trophy that I won here, but it's got nothing on it what I did to get it. But I'm sure that it was well won, especially with all the odd people we have round here, all trying to show that they were good at one time. And I was speaking to Bill Cheston just before he died, and he said, I said, "Hello, Bill, how are you?" So he said, well, he was sitting in his car, you know. So he said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Eric Burridge." So he said, "Oh, I remember you. You were the one that was always trying to catch." And I thought that was quite a compliment from Bill. So, of course, he's not with us now. But we did all right here, and Barham, and Silver Wings at Ashford, and Tenderton, and Silver Helmet Sittingbourne twice. National championships with Spud and Murray Briggs, and I think Murray's took all the trophies to Australia with him because I haven't seen any of them.
Well, indeed, I'll cut you off there, Eric, because I mean there is so much that we've learnt this afternoon, and I think overall a lot of you guys have made me personally feel very humble that there was a lot went on those years ago when I was trying to get through school. But we have got a fantastic race meeting for you. Hopefully they'll give me the entries for the flying lap in a very few moments, and I'll let you know exactly who it is that's going for it. They get one lap, and as I agree with, he will now come in to his flying lap as Ray has just confirmed with the timekeeper. He's now flying and the clock is on as Kelvin Tatum goes into that bottom turn. So many times we've seen him win the World Long Track Championship. Very, very quick competitor. Moved out of Speedway for a couple of seasons. He's now gone back to riding for Arena Essex, and it's certainly one of those competitors that you can never ride off. The first lap completed by Kelvin Tatum, and the time quickly being recorded. So, the time to be beaten for Kelvin Tatum, the first to go of our solo competitors, 21.16 for his first flying lap, 21.16. So we could see some interesting approaches to that first bend off this start line. But Trevor Banks is now flying as he comes past us. The clock is started as he goes by us. And you can see exactly what I mean about the way this track has been set out. They can use those hills, power on, keep the drive. Into this bottom turn he goes. He'll come off the top of that hill. That's when the front end goes very, very light, when you're driving over the top of the hill. So, 22.05 the time for Trevor Banks, our second competitor in the flying lap. Kelvin Tatum then still with the lead, 21.16 the time to beat. See if he can still do it. Ride for a bit of fun was the final comment. Now you watch this guy go. This is what they call riding for fun. He will be there and thereabouts, that's for sure. I'm not too sure that he does look as quick as Kelvin Tatum was going, but the clock will confirm that in a moment, as he really does fly past us. Well, indeed, the time confirmed is 21.88. 21.88, so not quite as quick as Kelvin Tatum at Berkhampton last weekend. He's a very, very talented young rider. Pleased to see him sign up for this meeting, and indeed I'm hearing that he's signed up for the Poacher as well. He certainly looks to be flying. Head down as he gets into the back straight. How soon will he throw it in sideways? Quite early into that bend, so he's looking to keep the speed on as he comes around that corner and into the checkered flags this time. Well, it's a very, very quick time, 21.22, 21.22, so still Kelvin Tatum with just the edge of 21.16, but a very, very close time to him for Sig Schubach. As you put the bike sideways, you come off that brow and into that dip at the bottom there. That's certainly where it is. Now, Joe Screen along the back straight. Not on his clock yet. It will be as he comes into our finishing line here. That's when the clock starts. He is now flying. He knows it would be psychological good to beat the time of Kelvin Tatum. Lifted his heels. That's going to be one of the problems that the riders were talking to me about this morning, that if you get too much grip as you come off of those brows, then you're going to have the front wheel flying in the air. Now, what was the time for Joe Screen? Well, it just shows you how confusing it can be. Certainly Joe Screen looks very, very quick. 21.43 is the time that's confirmed by the timekeeper. 21.43. So a little bit quicker than both Karger and Banks, but not as quick as Schubach and, of course, the leader right from the very start, Kelvin Tatum. His champion. He had a tremendous ride up there at the Lincolnshire circuit. Champion for the second time in his career. Goes into the bottom turn by the fence. He will be at full race speed when he comes past us. Into the flying lap he goes. Oh, he's certainly got a very good line around that bottom turn. Lifts it in the air. And anxiously watch to see what the clock is. This is the last competitor that can beat Kelvin Tatum's time. And the time for Paul Hurry is 21.67. 21.67, so he hasn't beaten it. It means that the flying lap for the solos has been won by number 1, Kelvin Tatum. An average speed of 82.34, the average speed that works out around this circuit. I think that sounds a bit unbelievable, actually. I mean, you feel like you're doing 80 mile an hour down the motorway, and no matter what motor you're in, it seems fast enough, doesn't it? But, well, just hanging on to 2 handlebars and 1 footrest, 82 they've averaged, and it really was very, very close. First outfit out, and that is the chair of Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. Now, he missed out on the British Championships this year, but of course he has been a British champion in 2001, and we know that he's a great spectacle on the big circuit. You can't get much bigger than this one. He enjoys a good grass track, with the comment he said to me this morning. So what sort of speed will he be doing as he goes into that top turn? He's on the clock, and he comes across the line. And that is the first of our sidecars. So, the first of the sidecars, confusing our finishing man, but we've got the first of the flying laps. We managed to get the time on him, so we're going by the white line that is here for the finishing line. Hopefully Gary knows that he's finished just 1 lap. So, outfit number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. They start with a winning time of 23.88. 23.88. Ivor Matthews and Mick Stace. Picking up the speed around that bottom turn, a change of passenger for Ivor Matthews, but Mick, a very experienced passenger, and I'm sure will be enjoying taking part this afternoon. Not the speedway outfit that we've seen Ivor riding so often. As he goes into that top turn, the clock is obviously on this lap. As he comes into the checkered flags, that's when the clock will be stopped. So, Ivor Matthews and Mick Stace, outfit number 15, the second to go in the flying lap, 23.98, 23.98. So, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh, 23.88, leading. Stepping in quite a bit for different people. And it's good to see Duncan back on the racing circuits. Not had the best of luck this season, missed out on qualification of the British Masters. That's the Maidstone qualifier. He looks to be fighting with that outfit as he goes round that top bend. Now he's got the speed on though as he goes down the back straight. Very wide into that top turn. Cuts back across the apex of that turn. And in towards the finishing line he comes. Much better line this time than when he come round the first time. So, outfit number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Nicky Owen. They get a time for their flying lap of 24.20. 24.20. So, John Halsey and Jason Clemmy go down the back straight ready for this flying lap. Can they beat Gary Jackson's time? Can they get the psychological twist and be faster? Well, one thing I can tell you is that they have not had an awful lot of sleep over the last 48 hours. They were in fact racing in Kloppenburg last night, and Once the meeting had finished in Germany, it was a quick race back to the ferry port and over here ready for this morning's meeting. And indeed, on that top bend, I think that has cost him time-wise. So some more adjustments, I think, need to be done as he will see the checkered flags going. But he lost a fair amount of time on that top turn. So the time for our last outfit for the flying lap, that's John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Their time number is 24.32. 24.32. So I'm sure you'll quickly get used to this program format. And as the brollies go down, off go the girls. Quickly, says the starter. And are we underway with the first race of the afternoon? This is the first of the Grand Slam. Paul Knott from the outside. Has he got the lead as he goes round that first turn? He's gone wide. He's allowed the rider in red, Andy Moore, to come through on the inside of him. Paul Knott in second place. Remember, this is point scoring all the way through the afternoon as they come down past me for the first time. Andy Moore in instant lead, Paul Knott in second, Dave Rumsey in third, and 611 John Cox in fourth at the moment. Greg Williamson didn't make it to the start line. But that won't be such a problem for Andy Moore as he powers past us. Paul Knott still riding well in second place. Dave Rumsey holding third. But Andy Moore really has authority on this one as he screams down the straight. He's doing it as he throws it into that bottom turn. Up over there he goes. And into the last lap flag this time. Paul Knott trying to stay with him, but at the moment can do very little about it. Dave Rumsey also in that third place. They have got very spread out now. But I'm sure that Andy Moore wants as he sees the checkered flag for the first race of the afternoon. This with the under-21s. It is Andy Moore in this. It was a win for rider number 100, Andy Moore, the rider in red. Second to him was number 29, that was Paul Knott, riding in black. In third place, number 10, Dave Rumsey. In fourth place, number 611, John Cox. And fifth place, number 83, Nathan Irwin. I think that Matt Everington was the rider we lost in practice, and as you can all see, we've only had in fact 3 riders to the start line. It is Paul Cooper that I would say the rest of it, but Simon King has got other ideas. So a great scrap between Paul Cooper and Simon King as they come around that pit bend for the first time. Simon King has made the best of that bend, so it's Paul Cooper that's got to do the chasing. Thomas Cooper doesn't want to lose track with them as well, so he will be chasing after and staying close. Up to the top bend they go for the second time, and Jason is now starting to lose authority. guy that wants to be under 21 champion for 2002. Going about it the right way. Starts off with what looks to be a very comfortable race. Paul Cooper can do nothing about it at the moment. He tries a different line into that bottom turn. Thomas Cooper still staying close. Wonder whether Thomas Cooper in that second place. And at the moment we see the last lap flag being prepared for Jason King, the very early leader. As he goes in fact into the green grass on that bottom turn. The latter heats, but it's all about getting maximum points from your first ride if you can do it, and the checker flags are being made ready. Jason King it is that takes it. Paul Cooper gets the second and Thomas Cooper third. Second heat of the under 21s. Race 2 in your programme, it's a win for number 38 Jason King. 7 maximum points go to the rider in red. In second place, number 11 Paul Cooper, the rider in green, and 5 points. In third place, 153 Thomas Cooper. Third place equals 4 points. So you should have, in that little grid there, going down them from red to black, the rider in red, first place. The rider in blue, no place at all. The rider in white, third place. Yellow, no place. Green, second. Black, no place. The points should be 7-0-4-0-5-0. And David Howe has made a very good start from the centre, but the rider in red, Richard Hall, has got to the front as they go into that first turn. Richard Hall it is that leads. David Howe is in pursuit though as they go down the back straight. Closes right up on him as he gets into that bottom turn. They dip down and come up over the top of the hill. It is David Howe that's got to the front. Richard Hall in second now is number 65, Lee Bartlett. He's sitting there in third watching what's going on, but it is David Howe that's now setting the pace as they go down the back straight. And again, they're starting to get spread out. This really is what a long track will do for you, is it will pull the riders apart, those that have got the faster speed, got the measure of the circuit. Lee Bartlett still holding third. Gareth Hickmott in fourth place at the moment. And Craig Smith holding fifth. Phil Ambrose by the look of it. And the last lap flag will be paired this time. David Howe looks over his shoulder. And he knows that he had Richard Hall there with him at the start of the race. And one more lap to complete for David Howe to make it the start. Is prepared, in he comes to the checkered flag. It's number 20 David Howe that takes the win. Richard Hall with a good second, and Lee Bartlett with a third. Race 3 in your programme, a win for rider number 20 David Howe. He gets maximum 7 points. In second place, number 31 Richard Hall. In third place, the rider in green, number 65 Lee Bartlett. In fourth place, number 7, Gareth Hickmott. In fifth place, number 2, Craig Smith. And no other finishes there. You should have from the top, from red to black. Rider in red, second. Blue, fifth. No finish for white. A first for yellow. Third for green. And fourth. Grand Slam solo race chart. This is race 4 in your programme on page 17. As the umbrellas go down once again and the ladies disappear off the race circuit. We've got, coming to the line for the first time, number 1, Kelvin Tatum. Number 2, Zednex Niederwind. Zeg Schubach, Brian Carger, Jason Hanley and Jeremy Doncaster. A tremendous lineup for the first of the Grand Slam solos. Kelvin Tatum's made a good start. Jeremy Doncaster is the rider that's gone with him though, and it is Jem that's got to the front as they go into that first turn. So Jeremy Doncaster it is leading down the back. He'll look for a way through on the inside of this fifth bend, and as they disappear behind the hill, we wait for them to come up. It is Kelvin Tatum that's got the advantage. Jeremy Doncaster is still there with him though. It's Brian Carger that's in fourth place at the moment. But Kelvin Tatum with the lead. Jeremy Doncaster desperately trying to stay with him. Doncaster closing up, but Kelvin Tatum now looks to have the measure of the circuit. As again they disappear behind the hill. Up they come, and Kelvin Tatum pulls the tail off as he goes past me. Good ride from Jason Hanley in that fourth place. He's in front of Six Schumacher. And he knows that he's got Brian Carger in front of him. Between second and third, and Jason Hanley looking to try and close up on that third place. But Kelvin Tatum is beginning to look comfortable. Jeremy Doncaster, who stayed with him at the beginning of the race, has started to drop off. And is Schumacher able to push Jason Hanley along a little bit? Jeremy Doncaster looks to have slowed. So how will they come to the line? It's going to be checker flag this time, and Kelvin Tatum makes it a win first time out. Jeremy Doncaster in second, Brian Carger in third, Jason Hanley in fourth, and Six Schumacher in fifth place. Sam Solo, a win for number 1, Kelvin Tatum. In second place, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In third place, number 4, Brian Carger. In fourth place, number 5, Jason Hanley. In fifth place, number 3, Six Schumacher. And in sixth place, Zdeněk Schneiderwine. From the top then, you should have from red, a win. Blue, sixth place. White, fifth place. Yellow, third place. Green, fourth place. And black, 2 points. 3 for fourth, 2 for fifth, and 1 for sixth place. Add all the points up, and the only difference between this and the under-21s is that means they then qualify for the final, and it's first over the line that takes the Grand Slam solo title. So, coming to the line for race 5. Riding number 7 on the inside in red, we've got Paul Hurry. In blue, Tony Atkin. In white, Stefan Desarrier. In yellow, Trevor Banks. In green, Mitch Godden. And in black, Mark Taylor. So our lone French representative, Stefan Desarrier, is riding in white in this one. He's got number 9 on the plate. As they get underway, Trevor Banks has certainly made a good start as they go into that first turn. Paul Hurry is there as well, but it is the rider in green, Mitch Godden, that's made the best of all of it in that first turn. Down the back straight, he's got Paul Hurry underneath him now as he goes into that third turn. And down the hill they go, up over the hill towards me. It's Paul Hurry that leads, Mitch Godden in second, Trevor Banks in third. Mark Taylor is the rider in fourth. So no show from our French competitor at the moment as they go down the back straight. Driving hard into that bottom turn. Has heard so much about this track from his father. He said he was looking forward to it this morning, and this is a good start. Stefan Desarrier now looking to perhaps go for that third place as Trevor Banks has moved on a bit though. Around that third turn. Both of these two riders, Mitch and Trevor, have had fathers who've ridden at this circuit way back in the 60s. 1 more lap to go. I'm sure they would have heard about it. And Desarrier does make a move on Trevor Banks in that first turn. Looking to get that first turn. Locked together, 1 more turn to go. As Paul Hurry's going to make it a win first time out as he comes to the line. He gets the checkered flag. Mitch Godden hangs on to second. It is Desarrier that gets third place, and Trevor Banks in fourth. It was was indeed a win for the rider in red, number 7, Paul Hurry. In second place to him, the rider in green, number 11, Mitch Godden. In third place in white, number 9, Stefan Tesorier. In fourth place, the rider in yellow, Trevor Banks. And in fifth place, number 12, Mark Taylor, riding in black. No finish accredited to rider number 8 in blue, Tony Atkin. So maximum 7 points to number 7, Paul Hurry. 2 points to Mark Taylor and 1 to Tony. Oh no points to Tony Atkin. So we move to race 6. And, we of course see Joe Screen go in this one as we look across the race line. Riding in red, Daniel Ray. Is a very, very experienced exponent of this sport. He will go into that first turn, in fact, in second place. Well, second, pick up for you who that is that's got the lead, because we've got Uppy Boss and Mick Braun out there. And as they come off that top turn, I can see that it is number 18, Mick Braun, that has had the early lead, but Joe Screen has now taken it from him. But Mick Braun, a very experienced Dutch rider, now has to watch Joe Screen go away from him, because this is exactly the sort of start that Joe Screen would have wanted. Mike Braun still there in second place. Uppy Boss is the rider in third. Oh, sorry, in fact Daniel Wraith is the rider in third. One more for the flying Joe Screen as they come past me. Mike Krohn it is that's still there in second. Daniel Wraith still holding third. That's where the big gaps are between second and third. He knows where he wanted to be, and he certainly got there. Will be checkered flag this time as they come past us. Mick Braun comes back at him, but Joe Screen's done enough. Joe Screen gets the win. We're still with the Grand Slam Solo, and it was a very impressive win from rider number 15, Joe Screen. In second place to him, number 18, Mike Braun. In third place, number 13, Daniel Rath. In fourth place, number 17, in fourth place there, Uppy Boss. And in fifth place, number 16, Mark Giles. Sixth place, number 14, Sam Amalenko. So, from the top, you should have had the rider in red finishing third, blue sixth, white first, yellow fifth, green fourth, and black second. As us, as we now move to the sidecars. So, over the page we go to page 19. We stick with the same program format that you've got the riders, as you would have guessed, not with helmet colours. The way they line up on the start line is the way in which the girls have got the umbrellas up. So, right on the inside, the rider in red, that should have been Rob Wilson and Tony Miles, but in fact I can see it's number 91, Lee Ray and Colin Clark. So Lee Ray and Colin Clark on the inside. Gary Jackson, Carl Pugh next to them. Miles Simmons, Dave Hogan in gate 3. Uphill for the sidecars. It is Rob Bradley that's got the best of it. Into the first turn they go, and as they disappear out of sight from me, watch to see them come up the far side. It is Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn that have got it. Gary Jackson's got problems trying to look at it. Gary Jackson pulls off into the centre green. Not sure what that was from this distance, but he's certainly out of his first ride. And with only 3 qualifying rides, that's going to be tough for Gary Jackson now to get into the final. Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn, though, could be the spoilers this afternoon. They were joint British champions last year. And indeed, they said that in the interview I had with Rob this morning, he said, well, something that the RC like these hills and bumps. He said, I can ride the hills, and I'm not sure how we do it. Well, is he true to his word? Is he going to make me eat my words as we go through the rest of the day? Because Duncan Tolles wants to do something about it. Duncan is in second place at the moment, looking to find a way through, and he has, I think, as he went down the hill. No, he hasn't, as Rob Bradley's come back at him. I thought he'd got through on the inside as he disappeared over that hill. But at the moment it's still Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn that have got it. Into the last lap they go this time as they come round. Duncan Tolles again doesn't want to lose contention with them. Mick Terrell and Tony Baisby in third. Miles Simmons in fourth place at the moment. Lee Ray in fifth. But it's all about that first place at the moment. Duncan Tolles not able to catch Rob Bradley, who does look to be in tremendous form. I'm sure wants to show everybody that he was joint champion last year in the British Masters. He takes the checker flag. That's a win first time out for Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. For outfit number 87, that's Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn, riding in green. They take first place. Number 74, Duncan Tolles and Nicky Owen. They finish in second. Number 62, Mick Terrell and Tony Baisby in third. Number 9, Miles Simmons and Dave Hogan in fourth. And number 91, as I say, we're going to put that into Rob Wilson's place, in the fifth place. So, maximum 7 points to number 87, Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. 5 to Duncan Tolles and Nicky Owen. So, we now move to race 8 in your programme. We're with the sidecars still. And riders and competitors out for the very first time this afternoon. Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey, Richard Thomas, Kevin Woodley, Matt Tromarola, Andy Wilson, Paul Johnson and Jason Gill, Paul Bickley, Paul Silvera, Andy Simons and Dave Williams. They get underway. Who is it that sorted themselves out? There was all sorts of problems there on that top bend. It was over the top of the hill from me. But I can see it's Paul Johnson that's got problems. He's over on the far side without a passenger, who I now can see is up on his feet and walking back. And for not the first time this season, we saw Paul Johnson going across the centre green. But to pick up his passenger this time. So they'll all have to be brought back into line and restart. Sport, so if you ever have chance to use any of the sponsors advertising in the programme, I know it sounds a rather glib thing to say, but please don't be frightened to let the staff know that this is where you heard of their company from. Kind of makes it a bit easier if you... Richard Thomas has certainly made a very good start from the inside. Paul Bickley, I think, is the outfit that's there with him, though, as they go into the first turn. Sort themselves out on the top, and Andy Simons has gone very, very wide on that first turn. Paul Bickley it is that's away. Richard Thomas is right there with him. Andy Simons it is that's slotting into that third place. So, as they come past me for the second time, it is Paul Bickley that leads from Richard Thomas. Colin Blackburn has now come in on the action as well. Matt from Marola is trying to get round the outside. So, as we predicted with the sidecars, plenty of opportunity for change. Matt from Marola working his way through the field. Colin Blackburn up in the third. Now, there could be two little battles going on here because Paul Bickley and Richard Thomas are staying close. Paul Bickley with problems in that bottom turn. So Paul Bickley slows in that bottom turn. Everybody goes past him. It means that Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley take over. Colin Blackburn, I was going to say, was having a battle with Matt from Marola. But as I say that, he's now realising that he's got the potential of getting a race win. And will go chasing after Richard Thomas. Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson trying to stay in contention with both those outfits, really. The closer one to him, Colin Blackburn. But as they go into the last lap, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley are the outfit that are setting the pace. Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey still there in second. Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson still there in third. So perhaps what this track is going to prove this afternoon, the race goes on, if you get the lines right, you will be able to open up the advantage between you and the other competitors. But one thing for sure, that having a great start to the afternoon is outfit number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. 2002, it's a win for outfit number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley, the riders in blue. In second place, number 25, Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey. In third place, number 5, Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. In fourth place, number 93, Andy Simons and Dave Williams. Fifth place finisher there, we did in fact have one. There was no score for Paul Johnson and Jason Gill, and Paul Bickley, Paul Silvera. So, maximum 7 points for outfit number 60. They go into the last lap. Richard Thomas. One thing for sure, they're having a great start the afternoon. One more race to go to complete the first time out for all our competitors this afternoon. We say Rhodes the Sidecars. And race this time will see John Holton and Jason Graham. Blue in yellow for in white, I'd imagine the big place. Yellow for one going to go. Green, Dave Deere, John Richards. Matt, John Scott. He's made a good start from the inside here, and the Amos is trying to follow him, but it's the riders on the outside that look to have got the advantage as they've gone into that first turn. It is John Hiscoll that's got to the front. So right from that outside gate, it was John Hiscoll around the outside, and Ivor Matthews, I can see, is now starting to move through on the outside of John Halsey back there in third place. But John Hiscock it is has got away, lifts the outfit in the air. Paul Whitelum is right there with him. John Halsey and Jason Glennie in third, follow Paul Whitelum into that bottom bend. Up the hill they go once more, and that's how they stay. John Hiscock and Simon Wall leading from Whitelum and Kevin Jones. Paul Whitelum goes to the outside line. Now we said there might be plenty of opportunities for passing this afternoon. Lots of different lines around this circuit, and Paul Whitelam forced to go very, very wide. Cuts back across, and John Halsey's got all sorts of problems with Paul Whitelam coming in on him. But John Halsey manages to get away with it, and I think he's got himself up in a second. No, Paul Whitelam comes back at him. No, it's Ivan Matthews has come through. So in all that mayhem in the bottom turn, Ivan Matthews and Mick Stace have come through. John Halsey must have wondered what was going on there. Ivan Matthews round the outside of John Hiscock as well. Oh, tremendous race from Ivan Matthews and Mick Stace. They were a long, long way back at the start. And John Halsey now looking for a way through for second. As he goes round the outside of John Hiscock and into second place. Well, as they will come towards the checkered flag this time, it is going to be a win for Ivan Matthews and Mick Stace. John Halsey, Jason Glennie second, John Hiscock and Simon Wall finishing in third. But really that, I think, has set the pace for the afternoon. It's not all over. Back to the pits once again from race 9 in your programme. The results you should have for race 9 are a win for outfit number 15, Ivan Matthews and Mick Stace. That's the riders in white. In second place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In third place, number 184, John Hiscock and Simon Wall. Fourth place, number 92, Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones. Fifth place, number 183, Ian Lee Amos and Paul Phillips. That's the riders who are out there in blue. And sixth place there, number 17, Dave Steer and John Richards. So, maximum 7 points to Ivan Matthews and Mick Stace. As we now have completed all the first leg rides for the sidecars, we move back to the under 21s, and they're already on the start line for race 10. Now we remember seeing Andy Moore, number 100, out in his first ride. He goes in this one, sitting on maximum 7 points. Can he make it 2 out of 2? To come round off that pit bend for the first time, it's Paul Cooper that's made the best of it. Paul Cooper, Dave Rumsey and then Andy Moore. And Paul Cooper, who had a second first time out, doing much, much better this time. Dave Rumsey, second place. Andy Moore was the one we were looking for. He'd had a win first time. Chases after Dave Rumsey. Thomas Cooper in fourth place at the moment. This is more like Paul Cooper that we're used to. Paul Cooper now with the lead. Dave Rumsey and Andy Moore. One more lap to go then for Paul Cooper to register his first win of the afternoon. And that's certainly going to mix the points up a bit, because Andy Moore obviously picked up maximum points from his first ride. He's now back in third place. First, second and third. And the checkered flag is once again made ready. This is going to be the first time that Paul Cooper takes it. That's a good win, second time out for Paul Cooper. Go down your programme, we get a win for number 11, Paul Cooper. In second place to him, number 10, Dave Rumsey. In third place, number 100, Andy Moore. In fourth place, number 153, Thomas Cooper. No other finishers there, so maximum points go to Paul Cooper. Add that to the 5 that he had from his first ride. You should have a running total of 12 points for Paul Cooper. No other finishers there, so maximum points go to Paul Cooper. Add that to the 5 that he had from his first ride. You should have a running total of 12 points. So we know that we had wins for Jason King also. See him going to race 11. visitors only, but promises to be an interesting one as Jason King and David Howell both go in this one. And then straight away we can see they're both together as they go into that first turn. Now Jason King the back straight, but David Howell comes at him and dives underneath as he goes into the pit turn. Well, they disappear out of sight from me, but come back with David Howell leading. Jason King still there in second. These two flying as number 7, Gareth Hicknott has to watch those two go away from him. Now had a win first time out. Looks like he's 2 out of 2. He did manage to get 3rd in the Speedway Under-21 Championship. And that was a terrific performance from David Howell. Always pleasing to see him back straight, looking very much in control. He's still there, second place. It's going to be consistent scoring for him as well. Remember, it's point scoring all the way through the day for the under-21s. Now, what better way to score than make it 7 and go out there? David Howell is exactly right at the moment. This will be the checker flag for him this time as he comes around. And it is rider number 20, David Howell, that takes the win. Number 20, of course, David Howell. Second place to him, number 38, Jason King. In 3rd place, number 7, Gareth Hickmott. And the 4th place finisher there, number 2, Craig Smith. No other finishers, so the maximum 7 points added to the 7 he got in his first ride. 14 points that it is that David Howell leads the competition at the moment. Oh, perhaps those to look for in this one are Paul Knott, number 29, who's made a very, very good start. And I was going to say also number 31, Richard Hall. He had a second first time out. And it is those two that have got away as they go round the first turn. And Richard Hall it is with the lead from in second place, Paul Knott. Both of these two had second places first time out. They'll be wanting to go one step better. And Lee Bartlett, the rider, in 3rd place at the moment. John Cox back there in 4th place. But it is Richard Hall that's looking the better of it now as they go along that back straight. Paul Knott in 2nd. Well, no change at the moment as Richard Hall looks over his shoulder. Very, very determined rider. Head down as he goes into that bottom turn. Well, that beautiful leg trailing style as well. Paul Knott with his foot up on the slightly different style. Richard Hall looking very comfortable indeed as he will take the last lap flag this time as he comes round. So it's going to be checker flag this time, and indeed the first for Richard Hall as he takes his first win of the afternoon, keeping himself well in contention with the Under-21 Championship. Chips as we see a win for rider number 31, Richard Hall. In 2nd place, number 29, Paul Knott. In 3rd place, number 611, John Cox. And ironically, that is all we had finishing that one because Lee Bartlett stopped in his last lap. We had no starts there for Phil Ambrose or for Craig Williamson. So what points have been scored we now add up and put into the points total. Tatum had a win first time out, along with Paul Hurry, who we'll see in the next heat. But it is on this one, race 13 in your program you should be looking at. Kelvin Tatum looks very much in command. Stefan Desarier has got up into second place. Oh, this really was, and there's all sorts of problems for our rider in. He puts it down in that first turn. Good to see he's quickly up on his feet. But Kelvin Tatum riding in white with the number 1 plate. That is the early leader, and that's how it stayed. Riding in green, Stefan in second place. Rich Gordon is arriving at the moment. Sergio back in 4th place. And as they go into the last lap flag, it looks as if Kelvin Tatum is going to maintain the maximum. 2 rides, 2 wins. That top turn for the last time. Stefan Desarier with a very good score this time. First time out, so we'll be able to add the 4 points and 5 points for this particular ride. As we see the second flag, it's Kelvin Tatum that takes his second of the afternoon. So he looks to be in very determined mood to take the title. Well, let's quickly give you the result of race 13 in your programme. I'm sure you've all got a win in for rider number 1, Kelvin Tatum. A second place for number 9, Stefan Desarier. A third place for number 11, Mitch Godden. Fourth place for number 3, Serge Schubach. A fifth place for number 8, Tony Atkin. And a sixth place for number 5, Jason Hanley. Very quickly underway with race 14, and let's pick up for you who they are as they go down that back straight. Paul Hurry it is that leads. Let me find out who it is this second for you, but it's Paul Hurry that leads, certainly, from Mick Groen in second place. So Mick Groen to take up the fight and try and stop Paul Hurry getting the maximum. The rider in red closing on Mike Groen. And I think that Mike Groen has reacted to that. He's pulled up a lot closer to Paul Hurry. But Paul Hurry very much in control. As they go down the back straight. Paul Hurry still first time out, you remember. 1 more lap to go to make it 2 out of 2. Mick Groen trying to do something about it, but Trevor Banks is getting closer and closer to him. Well, will we see a challenge from Trevor Banks? He takes a very outside round that first turn. Got his speed on going down the back straight. Can he make a challenge on this last turn? Very wide once again. Look for a very, very quick finish. The result of race 14, it was a win for rider number 7, Paul Hurry. In second place, number 18, Mike Groen. In third place, number 10, Trevor Banks. In fourth place, number 16, Mark Giles. Fifth place, number 14, Sam Amalenko. And no sixth finisher there. One to look for here as Joe Screen gets underway very quickly into that first turn. He's got the lead, but disappointingly, Brian Carger has been left on the line. Aren't going to be put up because the starters were not happy with that one. So all of them will be brought back into line. Race 15 in your programme, you should be on the page that says Grand Slam Solo Race Chart. And as well, he's also credited with a third place first time out. Carger on the inside that's made the break into that first turn. Oh, that quickly changes as they go into that first turn because Joe Screen had come from the middle and got himself to the front. Too much by the look of it, but throws it into that top bend. Joe Screen does look as if he's enjoying this circuit. Oh, Jeremy Doncaster is up in the second. Daniel Roth is the rider in third. Good scrap going on for that third and fourth place at the moment. But as they come past me, it is Joe Screen. No, well, Joe Screen looking down at machinery then. That Joe Screen hit some sort of a problem. Oh, Brian Carger, the rider, in fourth, pushing all the time. I'm sure he's used to having a very good track off to the best of it at the moment. One more lap to go for Joe Screen to stay equal on points with Kelvin Tatum and Paul Hurry. No change at that third and fourth at the moment. Disappointing. This place. We see the checker flags being made ready. Joe Screen's going to keep the pressure on because he's made it 2 out of 2. Jeremy Doncaster in second, Daniel Roth in third, and Brian Carger in fourth. Number 15, Joe Screen, so he keeps the pressure on. 14 maximum points from 2 rides. In second place, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In third place, number 13, Daniel Roth. And in fourth place, number 4, Brian Carger. In fifth place, Zednek Schneiderwine. That's rider number 2, fifth place there. And rider number 17 in sixth place, Uppy Boss. So that completes the second leg rides for the Grand Slam Solo as we now turn our attention to the sidecars. So as we move to the sidecars, this the second leg ride for all the sidecar crews. Sorts of problems on the start. Richard Thomas has had a good one from the outside. Well, we'll see if he gets sorted out in that first bend. As they come up the hill, it is Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley that have got away. So a tremendous start for Richard Thomas. Right along the back straight. He has got Rod Bradley and Tristan Winterburn in pursuit as they go into that bottom turn. Matt from Arola is in third place at the moment. Paul Bickley in fourth. But can they catch the flying Cornish crew of Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley? Up the top of the hill they go once again, and that's still a considerable margin they've got over Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. Thunderbolt had a win first time. And from Arola in second place at the moment. He had a third place first time, so consistent scoring, but I know he'll want to get better results than this. He's got a chance of getting into the final, but this is a tremendous performance. Made it 2 out of 2 at the moment as they go into the last lap as they come past me. Rob Bradley, I was going to say, has not been able to close the gap between first and second, but if anything, He's now got more to worry about because Matt from Marola is getting closer and closer to him. As he starts to get close going out of that top corner, will he make a challenge on the last bit then? He's gone for the inside line. He's hoping that Bradley will go wide, looking to try and get away through on the inside. The checkered flag goes, but Rob Bradley's hung on. He gets that second place. Terrific effort from Matt from Marola, but not to be. So, race 16 it was in your programme, the second qualifying ride for the sidecars, and a win for outfit number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. So, 2 rides and 2 wins for that crew. In second place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. In third place, number 5, Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. So, they finish in third place. In fourth place, number 18, Paul Bickley and Paul Silvera. In 5th place, number 9, Miles Simmons and Dave Hogan. 6th place there, number 91, that's Lee Ray and Colin Clark. Lee Ray and Colin Clark. For perhaps Gary Jackson to recover from breakdown in his first ride, or has he not come out? It looks as if whatever that problem was very, very serious indeed, so no more Gary Jackson this afternoon. So a chance for 1 or 2 of the riders that drop places in their first ride to get some good points here. Well, all indications are that there's still somebody to come from the pits. Well, in fact, the rider's now being called into line. Obviously, a little bit of confusion with the programme there. Gary Jackson does go in race 18, along with Dave Steer. Once again, these outside gates prove to be better. Into the first bend they go. Think it's going to be Paul Whitelam that's got to the front. It is indeed Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones. John Hiscock is right there with him. All starting to sort themselves out. Ian Lee Amos on the outside with Paul Phillips. Taking the wide line, trying to get around the outside of John Hiscock. Colin Blackburn has come through on the inside though. That was a good corner for Colin Blackburn as he dives into that top turn. Real battle on for that second place at the moment. Passenger Kevin Jones. Now is Colin Blackburn going to make a challenge? He comes round the outside of John Hiscock. Has he got the legs to go all the way round as he moves it into that pit turn? He has indeed got up into that second place. And rapidly starts to close on Paul Whitelock. Now, will we see a challenge for the lead then as they go into the last lap this time? Paul Whitelock must now know that he's going to be in with a fight for this last lap. There's two little battles developing because we've got the scrap for first place, and indeed there's a battle there for third place, and John Hiscock is being closed on by So one more corner to go. Will this be Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones, his first win of the afternoon? Can Colin Blackburn do anything about it? Into the checker flag they come. It's going to be close, but Paul Whitelam takes it. It's Grand Slam 2002, a win for outfit number 92, Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones. In second place, number 25, Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey. In third place, number 183, Ian Lee Amos and Paul Phillips. Fourth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Simon Wall. And fifth place, number 93, Andy Simons and Dave Williams. No other finisher there. So maximum points going to Paul Whitelam. Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh do go in this one. They were in the yellow grid. Up against Duncan Tolhurst and Nicky Owen, who had a second place first time out. Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. The 62 had a third place first time out. Sorts of problems getting grip for Gary Jackson. He was slow off the gate, and from the outside once again it seems to be the better gate. Says Ivor Matthews and John Halsey went together on the outside of that first turn. John Halsey looking to attack along the back straight, the two of them together as they go into that top turn for the first time. Oh, John Halsey looking to perhaps come for the inside line, but Ivor Matthews has certainly got the speed on. Duncan Tolhurst is the rider in third that come through in front of Gary Jackson. They charge into that pit bend. It is Ivor Matthews that's setting the pace. Very, very quick turn second. Duncan Tolhurst looks like he wants to do something about that as well. He's starting to close up on John Halsey as they come off that top turn. Oh, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh had that very, very quick flying lap. Not able to stay with those in front of them at the moment. Matthews and Mick Stace go into the last lap looking relatively comfortable. John Halsey and Jason Glennie still second. Duncan Tolhurst still holding that third. That's looking really how it's going to stay. Some damage on this one. He sees the checkered flag this time as he comes over that brow. Into the checkered flag he goes. That's his second ride and his second win. To race 18, concluding the second leg ride for the sidecars. It was a win once again for number 15, Ivor Matthews and Mick Stace. So maximum points to that crew as we see in second place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In third place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Nicky Owen. In fourth place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. In fifth place, number 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. And in sixth place, number 17, Dave Steer and John Richards. Championship. As they move into that first turn, it's Paul Knott, number 29, to look for in the red helmet. In the yellow helmet. come up for you as they come by then, because Andy Moore is leading, who's had a win and a third place. So looking comfortable once again, the way he started the day's racing, out in front, he's out there again. Red is Paul Knott, number 29 on the racing number. Well, he's under pressure now for that second place from Richard Hall. We've seen some very good rides from Richard Hall, but he's had to be content with 2 second places. He's going to sit there once again in that second place. A great ride from Andy Moore, though, as he goes into the last lap, leading from Richard Hall in second, Paul Knott in third, Gareth Hickmott in fourth. He's asking an awful lot to Andy Moore as he comes into the checkered flag, and that's his second win this afternoon, looking very good for this under-21 championship. The under-21 British Championships, and it's a win for rider number 100. He takes first place. In second place, number 31, Richard Hall. In third place, number 29, Paul Knott. In fourth place, number 7, Gareth Hickmott. No other finishers there, so the points you can transfer are 7 for that first place for Andy. Add to the 11 he's already got. He now moves on to 18 points. Off the outside gate, looking for the wide line round that first bend, and it is Jason King that makes the best of that first bend. Rider in second, but just briefly in second, because you can see the rider in red, Paul Cooper, going round the outside of him. Or has he? Indeed he hasn't. Dave Rumsey stays in that second place. Paul Cooper still in third at the moment. Craig Smith still there in fourth place. Excellent ride from Jason King, making it very much his own race, this one. Well, a fascinating style for Paul Cooper. We're used to seeing him ride the wide outside line through that beautiful leg trailing, and lifts the leg up, puts it back on the footrest, down the back straight. The fact that Dave Rumsey has had a brilliant ride in second place. Into the last lap goes Jason King. He's had a win and a second as well. So remember, it's point scoring all the way through the programme this afternoon for the under-21s. Very important to get maximum points here if you can. Checker flag is going to be for race 20 in your programme. We're with the under-21s, and it's another win for Jason King. Dave Rumsey in second, Paul Cooper in third. Official result as it was confirmed a win for the rider wearing the black helmet colour, number 38, Jason King. In second place, number 10 in your programme, Dave Rumsey. In third place, number 11, Paul Cooper. Fourth place, number 2, Craig Smith. Fifth place, number 65, Lee Bartlett. No other finishes there, so points again get carried through to that points total. I'm sure that all eyes will be on number 20, David Howe, as he goes into that first turn. He's got Thomas Cooper going after him, John Cox as well. But the flying David Howe, who's leading this race, 2 wins for a maximum 14 points. He straight away gets himself to the front. And looking for him to come up over the top of that hill. It is David Howe that leads. Tom Cooper very close to him though in second place. And this is a good ride from Thomas Cooper as he's gone on the inside of David Howe, and David Howe's gone very, very wide. Tom Cooper takes over the lead, but David Howe quickly gets back at him. Well, they drop down that bottom corner, up around by the pit entrance, and David Howe's got it back under control. I don't know whether that was a lapse in concentration or whether he was just trying a different line into this first bend. But Thomas Cooper certainly took advantage of it. And he's staying right there with him as he goes down that back straight. That's beaten off the challenge for that second spot. Oh, one more lap to go for David Howe to make it 3 out of 3. Thomas Cooper is the only man who can do anything about it at the moment. John Cox a long way back. Come round to the checkered flag, and this is the last of the qualifying heats for the under-21s. And David Howe makes it 3 out of 3. Goes in first place. In second place, number 153, Thomas Cooper. John Cox, and in fourth place, number 83, Nathan Owen. No other finishers there. Of course, the points totals now all being calculated to see who it is that goes in the A or the B final. So we turn the page once again, and we move to race 22 in your programme. We see Kelvin Tatum out in this one. Jeremy Doncaster goes. Tony Atkin, Mark Taylor, Daniel Ralph, and Mike Groon. Now we know that Kelvin's had 2 wins already. Can he make it 3 out of 3? He's on the outside gate this time. You can see that we've got 6 riders. I wasn't expecting to see Mitch Godden on the start line in this one. A terrific start once again from Kelvin Tatum as he dives into that first turn, making sure that everybody knows he's going to be there. Up over the hill he goes, and he's... Mike Groon is the rider in second place at the moment, as you've seen earlier on this afternoon. Jeremy Doncaster in third. Daniel Ralph in fourth place. Jeremy Doncaster's looking to have a go for that second as he moves up to the side of Mick Groon. He has got that second spot. Mike Groon will be trying to get back at him as he comes over that hill. Kelvin Tatum looks across at the pits. Looks very comfortable indeed. Jeremy Doncaster having a good ride. Now starting to pull away from Mike Groon. Second place. Trying to close the gap on him as well. But 1 more lap to go as Kelvin Tatum looks very much in control. what he wanted to do. 3 rides and 3 wins. Into the checkered flag he goes. Jeremy Doncaster with a good second. And number 18, Mick Groom, finishing in 3rd place. 22, we're with the I was going to say the under-21s, but we're with obviously the Grand Slam solo race chart, and it's a win for number 1, Kelvin Tatum. He takes 1st place, followed home in 2nd by number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In 3rd place, number 18, Mike Groom. In 4th place, number 13, Daniel Roth. In 5th place, well, you put him where you like in your programme, but we've put him down as number 21, the reserve. Julian Phipps in 5th place, although he took the ride of number 8. So Julian Phipps gets 5th place. I'm going to put him in that last slot as reserve 21, because we'd already given you Paul Knott and Malcolm Simmons as 1920. Schneiderwine with the rider on the inside. Mitch Gordon, number 11 in your programme. The field already takes 1 place and gets himself up into 3rd. So a very depleted field in this race 23. That Paul Hurry won't mind at all, and Mitch Gordon has done well to get up into 2nd place. That was a terrific turn from Mitch Gordon. He'd missed the start really, and now he's being attacked once again. Going on for that 2nd place. Paul Hurry dominates this one and moves away. I'm sure he'll be looking forward to the final. Problems on the far side for Sam Ermolenko, in fact. Sam Ermolenko pulls off. But a great scrap going on between Zednak Schneiderwind and Mitch Gordon. Together comes into that 1st turn. Off the back straight, Mitch Gordon looking for a way through. Now, did he have a better line round this pit bend? 1 more lap to go for Paul Hurry to maintain the maximum point scoring. Zednak seems to have the better of Mitch Gordon at the moment, but what can Mitch do in this last lap? Well, it's certainly proving to be very, very quick out there this afternoon, and none are going quicker than this man who takes the checkered flag. He's had 2 rides and 3 rides, in fact, and 3 wins. 23, a win for number 7 in your programme, that's Paul Hurry. In 2nd place, number 2, Zednak Schneiderwind. In 3rd place, number 11, Mitch Gordon. And in fact, no other finishes there. I'm looking for a 4th place, but of course Sam Ermolenko went back into the pits. We didn't see Uppy Boss or Zerk Schubach. So very disappointingly, only 4 finishes there, but we now move to race 24, the last of the qualifying races for the Grand Slam Solo. Looking for Joe's screen from the middle, and it's Joe that's got to that 1st turn. So he will stay with Paul Hurry and Kelvin Tatum. 3 rides and 3 wins. Riding in the black helmet colour, that's number 4, Brian Carger. He pulls off on the far side, but no problems for Joe Screen at the moment. Very commandingly, Joe Screen stays in front, and that is Carger that's pulled off on the far side. So very disappointing. Now at the moment for Joe Screen, he looks in terrific form. What sort of final is this going to be between these 3 maximum point scorers? Stefan Desaria is the rider in 2nd place at the moment. And he's certainly got better as the afternoon's gone on, Stefan Desarier. Not an easy task to stay with Joe Green, the speed that he's travelling at the moment as he comes up off that pit turn. One more lap to go to make it 3 out of 3. Jason Handley sitting in that third place in front of Trevor Banks. And the only other competitor still out there is Mark Giles. Very confident indeed. Lifts that front wheel brilliantly in the air. Into the last bend he goes, and it will be the checker flag this time, making it 3 out of 3, and we've indeed got 3 riders with maximum points from the qualifying. In your programme, the last of the qualifying rides for the Grand Slam, as we see a win for the rider riding in the helmet colour yellow, number 15 in your programme, Joe Screen. In second place, number 9, Stefan Desarier, riding in red there in second place. In third place, number 5, Jason Handley. In fourth place, number 10, Trevor Banks. In fifth place, number 16, Mark Giles. No other finishes there. That means we now can finalise the points from the qualifying rides. Brawl and Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley, plus Ivan Matthews and Mick Stace are the only riders on maximum 14 points from 2 rides. Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn on 12 points. Then we've got 3 riders together on 10 points. John Halsey, Paul Whitelum and Colin Blackburn. Hesitation there on the start line, but they've now got them underway, and I think Richard Thomas again has made a very good start. What's going to happen as they come up the hill is John Halsey on the inside, Richard Thomas on the outside. Those two away from the rest of the field as they go down the back straight. So has John Halsey got it together as the afternoon develops? Richard Thomas is not giving up though. Richard Thomas looks to come back at him, chases him hard down this finishing straight, and he'll look for a line around that pit bend. Now, Mick Towell and Tony Baisby are holding third, but all eyes, I'm sure, are on those front two. Good John Halsey and Joe Denny. Looks to be in control, but not out of contention. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley in second. Oh, they get close again as they come out of that top turn. Mick Towell still there in third place. It's John Hiscock that's got fourth from Andy Simons in fifth at the moment. I just wonder if John Halsey has hearing or something. He looks a lot quicker than he was earlier on this afternoon. Certainly Richard Thomas beaten for the first time this afternoon as they go into that last lap. But I'm sure he knows that 2 wins in the second will be enough to get him into the final. And remember, with the Grand Slam cycles of Solo and Sidecar, it is a straight race for the finalists. All the qualifying points get forgotten once they've got to the final, and it is first over the line that takes the victory. So, hoping that he's going to be there in the final, taking a win in his last ride, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. The third leg rides for the sidecars, and a win for number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In second place, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In third place, number 62, Mick Towell and Tony Baisby. In fourth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Simon Wall. And in fifth place, number 93, Andy Simons and Dave Williams. No other finishers there. And we just now look to see who it will that will be qualifying for the finals. After this race 27, of course, we've finished the qualifying rides. There will be an interval if you're thinking about when to go and get some food or drink or whatever. Or indeed have a wander up to the hospitality tent and have a word with those guys from yesteryear. Also during the interval, on the finishing podium or presentation podium on the far side there, the 40-foot trailer you can see on the far side of the circuit, we understand that Sammy Jessup, the page 3 girl, is already here. During the interval, if you'd like to go and have a word, she is selling calendars, I assume of the type that she is pictured on. And if you want to have your photo taken, then you can have your photo taken with Sammy. and it's a Polaroid type photograph, I understand, so it will be instant. You can take it away with you today. So that's during the interval. If you fancy a picture taken with a very beautiful page 3 girl, then the presentation podium up there on the far side is where you need to be. This time has the outside gates proved beneficial again. As you can see, Colin Blackburn has gone round the outside, and indeed as they appear from the hill, it is Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey that have got the lead. Miles Simmons with a much better ride this time. Gary Jackson in 3rd place, Ian Lee Amos holding 4th, but Colin Blackburn doing exactly what he needed to do in this last ride. He leads. He was sitting on 10 points coming into this last ride. Miles Simmons and Dave Hogan, much better ride from them this time. Had a good ride in the British market. This is only their first full-blown season that they've been riding sidecars. A very experienced passenger, of course, Miles Simmons, but this is really their first year as a full-blown sidecar driver. At the moment, Gary Jackson not able to get on form with those front two. I'd say that's Simmons as he goes off into the centre green. Quite what the problems were, I don't know, but he certainly made his own circuit. Colin Blackburn will be unaware of that, and there's all sorts of change going on because Gary Jackson has got himself up into 2nd place now, of course. Miles Simmons really has now, but unaware of all that, Colin Blackburn won't mind at all because he'll be coming round to pick up the checker flag as he comes towards us this time. It's Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey to get the win. Gary Jackson just in 2nd place. Well, Miles Simmons and Dave Hogan pushing across the finishing line to pick up what is going to be a 5th place and valuable points. But the race victory in race 26 goes to number 25. That's Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey. In 2nd place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. In 3rd place, number 183, Ian Lee Amos and Paul Phillips. In 4th place, number 18, Paul Bickley and Paul Silvera. 5th place then being credited to number 9, Miles Simmons and Dave Hogan. No other finisher there. Maximum points for number 25, Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey, which I think means they've done exactly the same as John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Time as they get underway. I was also going to mention that Paul Whiteham's in there as well. He's had some good rides this afternoon. And as they sort themselves out going into that first turn, it is Duncan Tolhurst has got to the front. Rob Bradley's in 2nd. Ivan Matthews in 3rd. So along the back straight. Duncan Tollis with a good advantage on Rob Bradley at the moment, but Rob closes up in that top bend. Ivor Matthews trying to stay close to the back wheel of Rob Bradley as well, so he'll be pushing him along. Matt from Marola has got past Paul Whitelam at the moment, and he's got himself up into 4th place. But as they go round that back straight, you can see exactly what's happening. Ivor Matthews is trying to get round the outside of Rob Bradley. No way through this time. Rob Bradley quick enough to keep him away, so Ivor Matthews switches to the inside. Can he get underneath him coming out of the bend? He certainly can, and he now charges forward to try and catch Duncan Tolhurst. So some good driving from Ivor Matthews as he works his way round and tries to make it 3 out of 3. Goes along the back straight. Very quickly indeed. Duncan Tolhurst as well along that back straight. And a very wide line from Duncan Tolhurst. We know that Ivor Matthews can pull it in tight coming out of the bend. He's done exactly the same thing again. He's got himself to the front. Oh, that was a terrific bend for Ivor Matthews. He's done exactly the same thing twice. And he's got himself to the front as he goes along that back straight. Up to these 4 places. But Ivor Matthews is going to make it that he gets first choice of gate in the final, because he's going to make it 3 out of 3 as he crosses the line. Duncan Tolhurst in 2nd, Rob Bradley in 3rd, Matt from Marola in 4th. For outfit number 15, Ivor Matthews and Mick Stays. Maximum 7 points to them. In 2nd place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Nicky Owen. In 3rd place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. 4th place, number 5, Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. 5th place, number 92, Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones. So that indeed brings us to the end of the qualifying races. Marshals and first aid officials, they'll obviously take a well-deserved break. Interval will take place, so if you want to have a wander around again. So basically, Harney actually competed with this solo machine with a hinged sidecar. Now, if you watch that machine go round, it really was a challenge to the authority of the sport, because basically, if you read the rules, it says about you must have 3 wheels, you must have 2 people, minimum 2 people I would add. You could always add 6 or 7, but basically you had to have three wheels. And Arnie had this great idea that he would have a very quick solo, but hinge the sidecar. You can see he can actually get right the way over, even though he's got his left foot inside the sidecar. He can hinge it right the way over and almost treat that solo, or sidecar machine, as a solo machine. Now, the only thing I will apologise for is you'll realise there's not 2 people on it today. Simple reason is that the passenger used to sit on the back of the machine behind the driver. Now, that particular bike is actually a racing 500cc bike that is still competing this day and age, and in pre-75s, I think. And unfortunately, it doesn't have the rigid back end that allows another seat to be put on. So they've thrown the teddy bear on the back there just to show you where the passenger would have sat, because that is just a fiberglass deflector, basically. It's over the back wheel like the modern machines are. But I think you'll agree, it was a very, very good concept and a great idea to challenge the regulations of the sport. It caused all sorts of controversy at the time, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Well, I thought I'd got a little bit of cine film on video of the original Rhodes Minnis circuit, and as you can see, lots and lots of riders in the races, and this will probably be very nostalgic for a lot of people. There's Alf Hagen, Stan Luck, Reg Luckers. This was the year that Reg Luckers beat Don Godden in the final. It was from the early 60s, and as you can see, the track is huge, far bigger than it is now laid out, and they even went into the next field where they had a little kink in a right-hander. Well, here we go again. This is another race with I believe it's Alf Hagen leading and Don Godden in 2nd place, so I believe, although I was rather young at the time. But you can see where the right-hander, see what I mean, it goes up round into the next field. And the right-handers, the passengers had to work extremely hard in those days, because they had to become a left-handed passenger as well. A bit like they do on road racing, but a lot harder, I would imagine, on the grass. You had people like Dave Nourish and Mick Webster, lots and lots of riders, and it is very nostalgic. I just thought I'd put it on the tape so you could actually see what the original track was like.
For next year, whoever runs the event. Well, indeed, I now had confirmation from the officials on the circuit that all our finals this afternoon will be over 6 laps. So riders that were asking me from the pits, it has been confirmed that all finals will be 6 laps on this Grand Slam circuit. Scoring, and as I say, in terms of the positions overall, you really want to be up as high as you can, even though you're in this B final, because whoever decides to well, I'm being indicated too that it must be 4 laps for the under-21s by the look of it. So love it when a plan comes together. Right, Dave Rumsey it is that's got the lead from Thomas Cooper in 2nd place as they charge around that top bend, and I'm sure that they're going to be relieved after 3 laps. Dave Rumsey is 2nd place. Very disappointing that really he finished up equal on points with Paul Knott. We thought he'd got into the A final, but disappointingly it was the meeting he had with Paul Knott earlier on in the day that meant that Paul elevated up into the A and he's had to ride in the B. But a good scrap with Thomas Cooper in 2nd place. Down to 6 laps. That's 4 laps. We will see the last lap flag out this time. So, Dave Rumsey looking for a win in the first of the finals this afternoon. Charges past our finishing marshal. Thomas Cooper still there in 2nd. Craig Smith in 3rd. Craig Hignott in 4th place. And it really does look as if that's how it's going to stay, because Dave Rumsey, although disappointed he didn't go in the A final, knows that he'll score good points with this. He indeed finishes by winning the B final in the under-21s. Thomas Cooper in 2nd, Craig Smith in 3rd. So let's give you the official result then of the first of the finals this afternoon. It was the under-21s B final, and it was won very convincingly by number 10, Dave Rumsey. In 2nd place to him, number 153, Thomas Cooper. In 3rd place, number 2, Craig Smith. And in 4th place, number 7, that's Gareth Hignott. In 5th place, number 611, that's John Cox. And in 6th place, number 65, Lee Bartlett. So that's the B final. So we've now got the A final to go. And this is who's going to become under 21 grass track champion, British champion indeed. Away they go, and Mitch Gardner's made a very, very good start. He's come in wide into that first turn. He's holding the lead. He's got a rider on his outside, who I believe is Daniel Roth as they go around that first bend. Daniel Roth chasing after him. So we'll sort them out for you as they come round past me. They disappear behind the hill, and as they come up over the brow, it is Daniel Roth who's got the lead from Mitch Gardner in 2nd. Trevor Banks in 3rd at the moment. Serge Schubach in 4th place. So none of these getting away from each other at the moment. Mitch Gordon still close to the back. Trevor Banks still close to those two as well. Serge Schubach is not out of the question yet either. Off the brow they come once again. Daniel Roth still leading. Mitch Godden looking for a wider line perhaps. Shoeback is having a go at Trevor Banks and gets through on the inside going into that top bend. Early's trying to move through, and indeed it's all changing over but as they go into the dip for the third time, and they'll see the last lap flag this time as they come round. Daniel Roth it is that leads. Mitch Godden still there in second. Shoeback still there in third place. And I wonder, is Mitch going to be under pressure from Zerg Shoeback? Daniel Roth has certainly got the advantage now, and it is going to be Roth that comes to the line as a checkered flag is made ready. This is the B final of the 2002 Grand Slam. Roth takes it. Mitch Godden in second, Zerg Shoeback in third, and Trevor Banks in fourth. So as the riders make their way back to the pits, it is the first of the big finals for the Grand Slam. Race 29 in your programme, and it's a win for rider number 13. He done it in very convincing style. Daniel Roth it is that takes the B final. In second place, number 11, Mitch Godden. In third place, number 3, Zerg Shoeback. In fourth place, number 10, Trevor Banks. In fifth place, number 5, Jason Handley. In sixth place, number 2, Zednek Schneiderwind. So, we now look to race 30, and we find that over the page on page 18. This is the B Consolation Final for the Grand Slam 2002. Race 30 in your programme for, of course, the sidecars. And I should have known that really, shouldn't I? Because the Umbrella Girls are a lot more sensible than me. They've gone the other side of the tapes, which means it must be sidecars. And we've all got to feel sorry for the broken volley on the red. So, the sidecars coming to the line for the Consolation B final. Number 92, Paul Whitelump. Some terrific rides today. I'm sure he's disappointed to be coming out in this B final. Number 5, Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. Number 62. That, of course, is Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. Number 183, Ian Lee Amos and Paul Phillips. Number 184, John Hiscock, Simon Wall. And number 23, that's Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. All sorts of problems for Gary Jackson. Leaped in the air, he's got it under control, but now he's got some work to do because he has lost out in a big way on that start. Indeed, he coasts to a hole, but for the moment it's Paul Whitelump that's got the lead. Back from Marola looking to come through in a second if he can. Drives in hard into that top bend. And is there a gap been left there for Ian Amos to come through as well? As they come past me for the first time, Paul Whitelump and Kevin Jones lead from Matt from Marola and Andy Wilson. Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby in third, Ian Lee Amos holding that fourth place. And as they sort themselves out on the back, I mentioned must be disappointed they're not in the A final because they have had a win earlier on this afternoon. They have looked very, very quick, but they lost too many points in their other two rides. Means they're in the B final, but Matt from Marola wants to change that. He's got a lot closer this time as he moves down into that bottom turn. Up around the top straight they go, and Matt from Roller is definitely closer. He's pushing hard. He's back in third, but Matt from Roller and Andy Wilson want to make this one theirs as they've gone on the wide line round that bend. They're looking for a way through. Paul Whitelam knows they're there. Paul Whitelam lifting it in the air as he comes off that bend. Matt from Roller and Andy Wilson fighting for it every inch of the way. Into the dip they go for the last time. Up the back straight, and he's got a much tighter line. Now he was quicker down this back straight. Has he got on the inside? No, Paul Whitelam comes back inside and says, you're not coming through on the inside, matey. You've got to go the long way round. Oh, there's no way round. He's going to try and come underneath on the finishing line, but Paul Whitelam does enough. Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones take the V final with a terrific effort from Matt from Roller and Andy Wilson. The B final Grand Slam for the sidecars. Race 30 in your programme, and this must be the easiest one to fill in that we've had this afternoon. It's as they were entered into the final. First, we've got number 92, Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones. Second, number 5, Matt from Roller and Andy Wilson. Third, number 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. Fourth, number 183, Ian Lee Amos and Paul Phillips. And in fifth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Simon Wall. So as the sidecars make their way back to the pits, a terrific result for Paul Whitelam and Kevin Jones. Take some beating. It is number 20, David Howell. Number 38 on 19 points is Jason King. Number 100 on 18 points is Andy Moore. Number 31 on 17 points is Richard Hall. Number 11 on 16 points is Paul Cooper. And number 29 on 14 points is Paul Knott. So, when you work it out with the points, remember it's the overall top point scorer that takes the under-21 championships. David Howe has got to be beaten if anybody else is going to take this title. Now, with only 2 points in it, there is a 2-point deficit between first and second. So, that could be a very interesting one if Jason King wins and David Howe is second. Has made a good start. Jason King's right on the outside. He may get an opportunity to do a very, very wide line round that first bend. That's exactly what he's done. He's gone all the way round the outside. Back straight. I think that's Andy Moore that's got the break. David Howe is coming through now, though. He's in third place, I believe, as they come into that fifth bend. Up off the hill they come, and it is Andy Moore that's got the lead. Jason King in second. David Howe in third place at the moment. So this could certainly make the result interesting. Jason King's gone high and wide, and David Howe is out. David Howe has pulled up on that turn. It means that it is now Andy Moore and Jason King both have a chance of getting this under-21 title as they come round off that fifth bend. Andy Moore it is that leads down past me, but Jason King is chasing after him. Disappointment for David Howe. He really was the man to beat in this final, and he just coasts into the centre green. Got a fallen rider on the far side. Red flag I can see being put up. So Andy Moore slows as he comes down past us. We've got a rider and a bike on the track. We think at the moment it's possibly Richard Hall that took the fall. Yes, indeed, it is confirmed as Richard Hall. He's up on his feet. Quick chat with Paul Cooper. Good. That is Andy Moore. Second place goes to number 38, Jason King. Third place goes to number 11, Paul Cooper. And fourth place, the only other finisher there, to number 29, Paul Knott. Now, quite what that does in terms of points, I think, if I'm right. Well, I do think that there is just a 1 point difference when they come into that final, so the 2 point advantage going to Andy Moore. I think, but I will have it confirmed hopefully by the officials before we get to the presentation. The under-21 champion at the moment looks to me like being Andy Moore. Second to him, obviously, Jason King. But we'll confirm that for you as soon as it's been confirmed to me. So we've quickly worked out the points overall for the under-21s, and it means that, well, he had third in the under-21s at the Speedway Championships. He's done it again under-21s with the Grasstrack Championships. David Howe finishes in third place, Jason King in second overall, and Andy Moore taking the win. So, under-21 champion for 2002, Andy Moore. Doncaster's right on the outside. It is Jeremy Doncaster that I think has made the better of it into that first turn. As they go along the back straight, it's Paul Hurry that takes Paul Hurry on the back straight has got the early lead. Kelvin Tatum is going after him. And as they sort themselves out on that pit turn and come up past me for the first time, it is Paul Hurry that's got the lead from Kelvin Tatum in second, Jeremy Doncaster in third. Number 15 obviously is Joe Screen moving into third place now. So our top point scorers as they charge leads the first Grand Slam that we've seen on the return here to Rhodes Minnis, and we've lost the machine on that bottom turn. And as they go into this, we think that was indeed Paul Hurry that we lost on that bottom turn, as the rest of the riders come past us.
Well, this is real bad luck for Paul Hurry. He looks all over the winner of the 2002 Grand Slam, the return to Rhodes Minnis, and he drops a chain right on the pit bend. And this is a real big off from Paul, and he was very, very lucky to get up and walk away from this. If that bike had hit him, God knows what would have happened. But thank God it did not. And although he lies there unconscious, he actually got up and when he sees Bite, he just smiled and walked away. It's a real lucky time for Paul, I think, but very unfortunate he was not the winner of the Grand Slam this year. Maybe next year, eh?
So as the riders come to the line, we have a change of the story. Of course, no Paul Hurry, not allowed out in the restart, but we still have those two maximum point scorers, Joe Screen and Kelvin Tatum. Has made a better start, but Jeremy Doncaster again has made a good one from the outside. He drifts wide and Kelvin Tatum takes over, and it is Kelvin Tatum that's got the lead. Jeremy Doncaster in second. Now looking for Joe Screen to come through as they come up off that hill for the first time. Kelvin Tatum is very much in control. Jeremy Doncaster in second, Joe Screen in third. Number 18, Mike Grant in fourth place at the moment. Having a bit of a battle with Stefan Desarier at the moment. Kelvin Tatum, the one to be good. Jeremy Doncaster goes very wide on that bend. He, I'm sure, has allowed Joe Screen to come through. And Joe Screen, yes, he's got through. Jeremy Doncaster on the outside, Joe Screen on the inside. Now, Joe Screen has got clear runway now to try and close down on Kelvin Tatum. But as they go up the back straight, Kelvin has a chance of looking. He's got nobody near him. No mistakes now. Into the dip and up over the brow for the third time. It'll be last lap flag for him this time. Joe Screen still there in second. Jeremy Doncaster, a terrific ride in third place. Stefan Desarier still there in fourth. And really the battle is for that second and third place. Jeremy Doncaster looks like he wants it. Well, I'm sure the pound notes are just whistling past his eyes. Go for that second place. But as we see the checkered flag come out, Grand Slam 2002 is won by Kelvin Tatum, Joe Screen in second, and Jeremy Doncaster in third. Stefan Desarier crosses the line in fourth place, but what can you say about that fantastic rider, Kelvin Tatum? He's won world long tracks time and time again. Horrendous accidents on the speedway, he comes back time and time again. And on this, by anybody's reckoning, a very hard circuit to ride. He's ridden brilliantly once again. Determined to get the Grand Slam. When I spoke to him this morning, he said he was nervous. He said it was a thinking track. He said you can get caught out very easily. And I think we've seen testament to that with Paul Hurry leading the final before it was stopped. Was, of course, number one, Kelvin Tatum. We had a slight difference of opinion, and we've had to go with the line judge in the end. For second place, it was number 15, Joe Screen. In third place, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In fourth place, number 9, Stefan Desarier. And in fifth place, number 18, Mike Grant. The winning time was 129.81, 129.81 for Kelvin Tatum. He takes the title of Grand Slam Solo Champion for 2002. And for those of you that are interested in the speeds around this circuit, that's just been calculated of 77.72. So under race conditions at the end of the day, Kelvin Tatum has still averaged 77 miles an hour. Incredible. So we now move to the Sidecar 2002 Grand Slam Final. The competitors, in fact the only rider to get here on maximum points, is number 15, Ivor Matthews, and passenger for today, Mick Stace. Number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley get second choice of gate. Number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. A busy weekend for them, racing in Kloppenburg last night. They're over here on the ferry and here to the Grand Slam today. they take third choice of gate. Number 25, Colin Blackburn and Martin Bailey. Good to see them back in form. Number 87, last year's British Masters joint champions. That is Colin Blackburn, Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. And joining them, terrific to see this guy at this sort of standard again. Number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Nicky Owen. That's the sixth that line up. And it's the same we saw with the Grand Slam solo. There are no points now. We forget the points. This is a straight Grand Slam race. Underway, Duncan Tolhurst has hit problems, but as the rest sort themselves out going into that first turn, we'll pick up for you who it is that's got the lead. Off that turn, that looks like Colin Blackburn has got the lead. So, Ivor Matthews right the way back now. Colin Blackburn has got away. John Halsey and Jason Glennie in second. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley in third. Ivor Matthews trying to change that though. Now, we've seen him work his way through this afternoon in earlier races. Can he do it in the final? Well, he's certainly looking for that third place, but he's got Richard Thomas on the inside of him. Colin Blackburn, though, with a tremendous start from this outside gate, but look at Ivor Matthews going around the outside. Looking to get up in the corner. Richard Thomas says no. John Halsey, in fact, trying to get up too close to Colin Blackburn. There's a big, big gap developing, and Colin Blackburn just doesn't want anybody to catch him. Still the battle is raging for this third place as Ivor Matthews tries to get round Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. Into the dip they go once again. Colin Blackburn still with the edge on John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Richard Thomas tracking into that third place. And as he starts to close now on John Halsey. Colin Blackburn has gone very wide on that bend this time. John Halsey's got closer to him. So could John Halsey be making a challenge as they go into the last lap? John Halsey now knows he's just got one lap to do it as they come off that bottom turn. He's much, much closer this time. He's going to have a go. He's going for the outside line. It's all going to be in that last bend. Colin Blackburn now knows he's there. He locks it up and Colin Blackburn's in all sorts of trouble. As he goes into that bend, he completely locks it up and over the top he's gone. As we see coming to the checkered flag, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley get second. Ivor Matthews and Mick Stace get third. And we can now only keep our fingers crossed as we look across the far side there. Completely lock that bike up. Martin is still laid down on the circuit. Obviously first aid officials quickly there to him. But a tremendous sidecar final. And what a dramatic ending.
Well, would you believe it? Sidecar final, same as the solo final, going into the last bend, and Colin Blackburn loses his front tyre. The front tyre bursts, apparently it ripped the valve straight off, and of course it brings the back end round, and Colin and Martin went straight over with the bike. Very lucky to get up and walk away. Martin Bailey's crash helmet was more or less split in two, apparently. I've not seen it yet, but I'm going to have a look and I'll put it on another video so everyone can see. But they were very lucky to get away with that. But yet again, like Paul Harry, very unfortunate not to win the return to Rhodes Minnis and the Grand Slam. Well, if we take a look from this angle, we'll slow the action down and you can actually see the point of where, see just there you can see Colin's front tyre has gone flat, and that's where it ripped the valve out, which does bring the back end round. But you can see clear as a bell how lucky they were to escape without injury. Martin was very, very dazed and he went to hospital a couple of times during the week for a check-up, but as from what I've heard he is okay. But those bikes are pretty heavy going at that speed when they land on top of you. Two very lucky men indeed.
Well, in fact, I'm very, very pleased to see that both Martin and Colin are both on their feet. That really was a horrendous fall they took going into that bend. There was nothing they could do about it. The back end had come round on them, but both of them up on their feet. And indeed, I'm sure John himself would be very relieved to hear that, because he'd have seen that happening in front of him. Let's give you then the official result of the Grand Slam 2002 final. It was a win for outfit number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Second to them, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In third place, number 15, Ivor Matthews and Mick Stace. In fourth place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Tristan Winterburn. In fifth place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Nicky Owen. That indeed has completed the race programme for this afternoon. The winning time there for the final was 140.23, an average speed of 69.6.